You want to know what moved me the most when I heard the story?
What's that?
The thought of you loving her enough to help care for Brandon.
Yeah.
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 That's what made me weep.
Very inspirational story about the power of love and devotion in the wake of tragedy. Our lead national correspondent, David Bagno, introduces us. These are the Armstrongs, who are really redefining what it means to be a family. David shows us how they brought new meaning to the marital promise in sickness and in health.
From the moment Chris and James Armstrong married, they created an unusual blended family. That's because Chris brought with her her ex-husband, Brandon.
Wow.
They were high school sweethearts who married at 21.
What do you remember about the wedding?
I still remember being at the church and them opening the doors and walking down with my dad and seeing Brandon, at the end of the aisle, and just knowing that I wanted to spend my life with him and that I loved him.
2 years after they got married, Brandon was T-boned by a moving truck, leaving him with a traumatic brain injury.
He was in a coma, and we didn't know when or if he would wake up and what would happen.
Although he did wake up, he was unable to take care of himself.
He was in something called post-traumatic amnesia at that time, and so his memory, which really he's never really fully gotten out of, but his memory was like 10 seconds long. This was really when it became clear that I went from being a wife to a caregiver. My friends even came to me after I'd been doing this for several months, and they said, "We love you so much and we support you, but you can't keep doing this. You're drowning. We see you drowning."
So after 5 years of caring for Brandon and longing to have children and wanting to again be in love with someone who could be in love with her, Chris decided to divorce Brandon.
Whenever I thought about moving forward with a divorce, the thing that terrified me the most would be that I wouldn't be able to care for Brandon. Stand up. There we go.
So she asked a judge to make her Brandon's legal guardian.
And I told her, nothing's going to change. I'm going to continue to take care of Brandon forever. And each year now, I have to renew guardianship papers, and they usually ask for a picture. And now I get to send the picture of Brandon with our whole family, and I've gotten to write the judge and tell her, I don't know if you remember me, but I've stood true to what I said, and Brandon's an integral part of our family.
Wow. This is
By
beautiful.
creating this family with James Armstrong, she found love for herself and for Brandon.
It's a sad story, but there's a lot of beauty in it too. Yeah.
Well, you want to know what moved me the most when I heard the story?
What's that?
The thought of you loving her enough to help care for Brandon.
Yeah.
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 That's what made me weep.
It's not just loving her, it's loving Brandon too.
Wow.
He needs us.
That's a good man. That's a good man right there. Good
He
man.
needs people that love him.
That love looks like feeding him, maintaining his hygiene, taking him to therapy appointments, and giving him the willpower and a little extra willpower to keep living.
I think in the physicality of him helping with Brandon, that's one piece. I mean, the fact that we change Brandon together, I can do it by myself, but it's very, very hard. James helps me. Like that is such a gift of love.
You ready? You can sit down, I got you.
James cares for Brandon in the same fatherly way he watches he and Chris's children, 4-year-old Meadow and 6-year-old Juniper. They snuggle up to the now 38-year-old man they call Uncle Brandon.
Hey!
What's up, dude?
Hi, sweetheart.
How are you, huh?
Brandon lives in a nursing home, but every few days, they bring him home. On the day we spent with them, Juniper nearly jumped in Brandon's wheelchair after school.
It's ticklish.
It made me feel good to be able to make him smile by playing his favorite artist. You want to play some Bob Marley? Bob Marley. Yeah, Bob Marley.
Yeah.
He was unusually engaged on the day we spent with them.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
Today I feel like especially you're like super tuned in, which is cool because Like, it comes and goes, you know? Some days we can really connect, and some days we can't.
The good days and the not so good ones are chronicled on Chris's TikTok account. There, she has found some of the grief support she's always been looking for.
Where did we both work in college? We worked at Casa Olay.
Brandon's long-term memory is one thing the accident didn't take away from him entirely. She is the one person he recognizes. Always.
You remember the song that we danced to at our wedding? They read you Cinderella. Yeah. He is a very part of who I am because I carry his heart in my heart, and I always will. And so the decisions that I've made to have him in our life, be a part of our family, is because I can't not. You know, when somebody is so tied to you, you can't untie that. I love you.
Before we left them, Chris told us something James said which shocked us. Something so unlikely, so improbable, but so beautiful.
He said if some miracle, treatment happens for people with a brain injury and Brandon can be healed, he said, I want you to be with him. You were with him first. And I think that
What a beautiful man.
it's, I don't think that's going to happen, but just the fact that, I don't know, you're just a very special person. You really are.
I don't think I am, but I just
you are.
I do what I think is right.
Yeah.
You know, I do what my heart tells me to do.
Wow.
Then James said this.
I also told her if anything happens to her or she passes away, I will fight for guardianship.
Yeah.
You will have another advocate.
Wow, that are you crying? Because I am. What a beautiful expression of love and just unconditional love and just beauty, and like that is a real man right there. James, you are a real man. Like that's someone that people can look up to. Wow, what a beautiful thing. What do you guys think about this situation? What do you guys think about this blended family? I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Comment below. Love you guys.